March 2005. A conference room in Manhattan. 3 private equity firms, KKR, Bain Capital, and Vornado Realty Trust, sign the papers on a $6.6 billion acquisition. They're buying Toys R Us. But here's what happens next. Of that $6.6 billion purchase price, the firms invest only $1.3 billion of their own money. The remaining $5.3 billion borrowed. And that debt, all of it, gets placed directly onto Toys R Us's balance sheet. The company now owes $5 billion it never spent. This is called a leveraged buyout. And it works like this. You buy a company using money the company itself has to pay back. In one signature, Toys R Us goes from manageable debt to $400 million per year in interest payments alone, more than it ever spent on store improvements, more than it ever invested in e-commerce. The chain begins here. To understand what was just destroyed, go back. 1948. Charles Lazarus opens a single baby furniture store in Washington, D.C. By the 1980s, he's built the first national toy superstore chain. Toys R Us becomes the place American childhood happens. By 2004, before the buyout, the company operates over 1,500 stores worldwide. It's profitable. It's dominant. It controls roughly 20% of the U.S. toy market. Parents plan weekend trips there. Kids memorize the aisles. It is not a struggling company. It's not failing. It's simply available. And in private equity, that's enough. The firms see real estate, brand equity, and cash flow they can extract, so they buy it. Not to save it, to leverage it. Between 2005 and 2015, while Toys R Us struggles under $5 billion in debt, the 3 private equity firms pay themselves $470 million, management fees, dividend payments, advisory fees for advice on how to manage the debt they created. Every dollar flowing out is a dollar that doesn't renovate a store, doesn't upgrade the website, doesn't compete with Amazon's growing logistics network. Walk into a Toys R Us in 2010. The floors are scuffed, the lighting is dim, the shelves are the same metal racks from 1995. Walk into a Target that same year. The toy section is remodeled, bright, integrated with their app. The difference is $470 million, extracted legally, contractually, and the debt covenants, the legal terms embedded in the loan agreements, specifically cap how much Toys R Us can spend on improvements. The company can't invest its way out even if it wanted to. 2005 to 2015. The exact decade Amazon transforms from an online bookstore to a logistics empire. And Toys R Us? Legally prevented from matching the investment. The debt covenants cap capital expenditures. Lenders must approve major spending. Those approvals never come. In 2010, Amazon spends $4 billion on fulfillment centers and technology. Toys R Us spends $400 million servicing debt interest. The website is slow. Inventory visibility is non-existent. You can't check if a toy is in stock at your local store. You can't order online and pick up in person. Digital native parents, millennials starting families, simply stop considering Toys R Us an option. And there's a deeper irony. In 2000, before the buyout, Toys R Us partnered with Amazon, making them the exclusive online toy retailer. But Amazon violated the agreement, allowed other sellers on the platform. Toys R Us sued, won in 2009, but by then, 5 years of momentum were gone, and they still couldn't afford to build their own platform. 2016. Toys R Us is visibly weakening now, and the suppliers notice. Hasbro, Mattel, Lego. They start demanding faster payment terms. They ship fewer exclusive products. They reduce inventory allocation. Why? Because extending credit to a company carrying $5 billion in debt is a risk their own boards won't allow, so the store shelves start to thin. Fewer exclusives, smaller selections. And during holiday 2016, customers walk into stores expecting packed aisles and find gaps, empty sections, so they leave, drive to Target, order from Amazon. Toys R Us loses the only leverage it had left, Foot traffic volume. Without volume, suppliers tighten terms further. The cycle accelerates. By early 2017, executives know the options are narrowing: restructure the debt or close. There is no third option. They choose restructuring. They file Chapter 11 in September 2017, intending to emerge leaner. It's the decision that ensures they won't emerge at all. September 2017. Toys R Us files for Chapter 11. Bankruptcy. The announcement is meant to buy time. Restructure. Emerge stronger. It does the opposite. Customers hear bankruptcy and assume liquidation. They stop shopping there. Holiday 2017, sales drop 15%. Vendors refuse to ship spring 2018 inventory without cash up front. Terms Toys R Us can't meet. Landlords refuse to restructure leases. Every stakeholder pulls back simultaneously. By January 2018, liquidation isn't a choice. It's the only option left. March 2018. Toys R Us announces the closure of all 735 U.S. stores. 33,000 employees terminated. No severance. Most of them learned from the news. Not from management. From reporters calling to ask how they feel. The liquidation sales begin immediately. Everything must go. Shelves stripped bare in weeks. March 22, 2018. Charles Lazarus, the 94-year-old founder, dies. 1 week after the liquidation announcement, his family says he was heartbroken. 70 years of work, gone in 13. Toys R Us generated $11.5 billion in revenue the year it filed for bankruptcy. It was profitable. It was making money. Amazon didn't kill it. The debt killed it. Between 2005 and 2017, Toys R Us paid over $5 billion, servicing the debt from its own leveraged buyout. The private equity firms extracted $470 million in fees. Not $1 of that money built a better store, funded better technology, competed with Amazon. It all serviced the debt or enriched the firms that created the debt. This is the question that matters. When financial engineering becomes more profitable than the business itself, when the debt is the strategy, not the product, who decides when a company should die? The owners who loaded it with debt? The lenders who restricted investment? The suppliers who protected themselves? Or do we just call it the market and move on? When financial engineering becomes more profitable than the business itself, when the debt is the strategy, not the product, who decides when a company should die?